Welcome to the Elements of Spirit for the week of September 24th, 2017. These are free readings through the elements of earth, air, water, fire, and ether from Edible Spirit. Bringing you these readings every week so that you can work with these forces, these elemental forces of earth, air, fire, water, and ether, of which we all have a primary element, which in this series is associated with your sun sign. It's sort of your primary way of interfacing or interacting with the world. Water signs tend to be more emotion-based. Earth signs more physical or matter-based. Air signs more mind-based. Fire signs more spirit or will-based. The ether, which is this reading, is thought of as the space in which all of these other elements vibrate. And the way that this series works is you watch the ether reading, and then you find your sun sign, which is associated with one of the traditional elements, and then you watch the video that's associated with the sun sign, with that element. Both of those readings will have an affirmation, which comes sometimes in the beginning, sometimes in the middle, sometimes at the end, but we include the affirmation description right below the reading. And when you combine those two affirmations and the information contained in the reading, you get your elements of spirit for the week. And you can use those affirmations to check in, plug back in to whatever came through during the readings, which worked for you. So, without further ado, I'm coming to you from my favorite spot, which we call Le Floor. Thank you also to all of you who tuned in for the equinox ritual on Friday the 22nd. We did a ritual in live stream. It was really sweet, and we had a lot of fun. If you haven't watched that and you want to get your fall equinox ritual on, you can go to facebook.com/ediblespirit, and it'll be up there. And we'll probably post it on the YouTube channel too. Yes, we will. Post on channel. Okay, so if you want to look in the Edible Spirit channel, and it'll be there for you to follow along with. It's runs a little under an hour, and it just kind of pulls in whatever that equinox energy is, because we did it at the time when the equinox was exact. Okay, without further ado, we're going to go into the ether. Okay, so the message that comes through first is clarity is not a given. Every eye has its own unique distortion. Every eye, it's so funny. It's like every eye, parentheses, eye, every eye has its own unique distortion. The approach required now is to accept your distortion and communicate until clarity is achieved. Well, I just got to tell you what I'm hearing. Achieved, allowed, accomplished. Okay, and then what else? So the truth, funny. The truth knows no man. No skewing of perspective. It exists alone and untouched. The journey of clarity is achieved uniquely in each individual as they take up the path towards truth. The byproduct of walking this path, which can never, this is in parentheses, which can never be completed, is challenges and confrontations, which reflect which reflect the distortion of your perspective. Facing these challenges while constantly pursuing the truth is the surest way to achieve, allow, and accomplish a state of clarity which is recognized and enjoyed by all who contact it. Okay, you guys, so I've been channeling pretty hard the last few days, doing both the preparation for the equinox as well as a bunch of clients, as well as a bunch of other preps for other workshops. Channeling last, it's been great. I've been out here and stuff is falling into place. So I think I haven't written that much in one fell swoop. Maybe since I don't even know when, but here you go. Clarity is not a given. Every eye has its own unique distortion, its own way of seeing things, right? The approach required now is to accept your distortion and communicate until clarity is achieved, allowed, accomplished. The truth knows no man, no skewing of perspective. It exists alone and untouched. The journey of clarity is achieved uniquely in each individual as they take up the path towards truth. As they take up the path towards truth, and I'm just putting a note, their own path towards truth. The byproduct of walking this path, which can never be completed, truly, is challenges and confrontations, which reflect the distortion of your perspective. Facing these challenges while constantly pursuing the truth is the surest way to achieve, allow, and accomplish a state of clarity, which is recognized and enjoyed by all who contact it. So when we get to the affirmation, which I'll give you in one sec, it'll kind of tie it all up together. But the idea is it feels to me, well, yeah, I see a big vortex, right, which looks like a hurricane, but there's a lot of freaking vortexes happening. So whether another hurricane strikes this week, or whether we're still just dealing with all of the other actual hurricanes, or whether we're dealing with the hurricane that is our life and is this time in which we're alive, heal your damn self, right? Own your own path. Don't worry about other people's truths. It just feels like a time to sort of back off from everyone, but double down on yourself. And we're talking about the space of a week. We can't really afford to back off from everyone all the time, but there's something right now that says, don't presume that you know what anybody else needs. Don't presume that you know what clarity is for anybody else, because you're not clarity is relative to the perspective that you started with and how that perspective changes and becomes clear, right? So clarity for me might be obscurity for you, or clarity for, my mom might be chaos for me, right? So the idea is that like everyone has their own personal flavor, but then there's this beautiful personal flavor of distortion, which is what makes us unique, and a personal flavor of clarity, which is what happens when we balance out that distortion, or when we learn something about how we were seeing things incorrectly or skewed or in this imbalanced way or whatever. But they're saying here that we can't necessarily come to a common understanding based on all sharing the same truth. What we can do is reach a common clarity by pursuing our individual truth and communicating as best we can about what we're learning along the way. So what that means, practically speaking at this time, is really to continue having more conversations about what's been going on with you existentially. How have you been grappling with your purpose? How have you been understanding what your role is here at this time, on this plane, in this planet, in this country, or wherever you may be? Can you communicate that? Can you communicate about the challenges you faced? Can you communicate about the clarity that you have cultivated in the past? That's all great. But what it's really urging you to do is to stay focused on your own path, pursue your version of the truth. And every time you keep asserting what is true, what is right, and truth, right, is like if they say, it stands alone. It cannot be touched by our perspective. On its own plane, the truth exists. Whatever we think or however we feel about it can't really do anything to it on that plane. It can do all sorts of stuff to it on this plane. It can alter it. It can distort it. It can use it for ill means. It can use it for good means. We can use the truth in a benevolent, wonderful, healing way. But the point is that the recognition of the truth is totally relative to the distortion that you come in with. So if you can't see the color green and you pursue the truth until you see all of the colors, right? You pursue your truth until you can see green again, right? It's going to be a completely different experience than if I can't see red. We both may be colorblind, but our clarity, our vision being restored is going to be different, because I'm going to be so shocked by all the red hues that I see, and you might be so shocked by all the green hues that I see. Same truth, same clarity, same space, but this is talking about empowering yourself. Great. We'll get to the affirmation. This is talking about empowering yourself by recognizing that your job is not to walk anyone else's path. Your job is to walk your path. You do you. And when you find clarity based on facing challenges or facing confrontations, any confrontations or challenges which reflect the distortion of your perspective, if you continue pursuing the truth in the midst of those confrontations, it's the surest way to achieve, allow, and accomplish. And when you pursue the truth with love, you find compassion, forgiveness, all of those other things which help you to leave these confrontations and conflicts behind, learning what you need to learn, resolving whatever tension was happening inside of you, so that you can achieve, allow, and accomplish a state of clarity which is recognized and enjoyed by all who contact it. So the idea is if you want to encourage clarity in others, cultivate it in yourself. The way you cultivate clarity is through pursuing the truth, not instead of having confrontations or challenges. Pursuing the truth while you're having concentrations and challenges, confrontations and concentrations and challenges. When you come up against an obstacle, pursuing the truth with love, pursuing the truth also can mean willing to be wrong in a confrontation or a challenge, learning, resolving, forgiving, being forgiven, healing. But I'm getting into the perimeter and fringes of this statement. The important part of this is that it's about you and your path, and when you do the work that you need to do this week, that creates a sort of halo effect around which when people come in contact with it, with your resolved conflicts or confrontations, or with your infusion of the truth, right? With the newly infused truth into your being, it has a stronger effect than if you tried to go out of your way and figure out what their truth is, or what they need, or what anyone needs, or how anybody feels. It's like, you do you, and then the corona of delicious light that is created is enough for everyone else this week. Affirmation: I don't know what you need. I don't know what we need, but I know where I am, and I will continue to approach the truth, period. I welcome clarity, resolve, and authority. Clarity, resolve, and authority. Clarity, resolve, and authority. I see what's going on clearly. I am resolved that this is true. I have the authority to act on this truth, to commit myself in service to this truth, to work in the name of this truth, to do anything I do, and maybe even everything I do, in the name of this clarity, with this resolve, with this authority. I don't know what you need. I don't know what we need, but I know where I am, and I will continue to approach the truth. I welcome clarity, resolve, and authority. So, I don't know what you need. I don't know what we need, but I know where I am, and I continue to approach the truth. I got rid of the will. I welcome clarity, resolve, and authority now. Okay? So, as I always say to you guys, this is the affirmation as I receive it. If you want to butcher it up and sell it for parts, have at it. If some part of it works better with you than another part, just do that part. I'm tuning into the same streams of energy which are available to you and to all of us. I'm just translating in the way that I was told by my invisible sources to translate. So that's what I try to do for you every week. Try to give you this straight, unfiltered, elemental dope about what to expect, how to work with who you are, where you are, what's going on. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for tuning in. Moving on in a moment to air, fire, water, earth. And I'm going to be on the fields on Monday, the 25th. With my buddy John on Sirius Channel 102. These readings come out every week on Sundays. And stay tuned next Saturday. John and I are going to be doing our call-in cable access show, Let's Get Mystical. So there'll be stuff on the interwebs. Follow me on Insta, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get updates as to when we're going to do our next show. Let's Get Mystical. Call in Queen. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.